There we go. I do believe we're live. So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. I am a little bit snuffy, a little bit stuffy, and as I was getting set up to do my stream, Bob Shaw came and put this jacket on me. He was like, "No, it's too cold for you to not be more warm." I do have a blanket with me too, but Bob Shaw loves me. It's been nice. Me and Bob Shaw had a good day together. Yesterday he told me he wanted to show me some of his work stuff, and then today I sat down with him and we went through some of the stuff that he was going to do. Essentially, software that has like a man trap that has a sequence that allows the person to go in and then to come back out and then to go into like a x-ray scanner because he works in like the security industry, especially with precious metals. And then uh, we found a bug together, and him actually finding the bug and then fixing the bug has him in such a good mood, and it's been nice to be in a good mood with him. And here we are together. I see some friends here already. Henry Hart and Moon Knight. You good? I'm good. I'm happy to hear that, Henry. You already answered if I was gonna ask. I'm happy you're feeling good. MeltMore, how are you, mate? Moon Knight, I'm feeling good. It was cold today. It was definitely a cold one, but I've been. We did a lot of exercise today, so like a lot. Like my arms are wanting to explode. So like I feel kind of like warmth from the inside being produced. Henry, how are you? Good, and you? Bro, Henry, I'm doing good. Nice. I'm happy to hear you friends are feeling lekker. Today's stream is about choices. About the choices we make. I don't know if you friends have noticed, but I have a different background. But I'm still, relatively speaking, close to the Wi-Fi, so it should still be stable enough. Usually I stream there because it's the closest connection I get to the Wi-Fi, but I think this one should still be good. Yeah, I think it is. It's nice having you friends here for this moment. Bro, give me your channel. Give me your firstborn. Give me and secondborn too. And thirdborn. This is like my baby, bro. This is 1,602 days of effort, day by day, to make this channel what it is. That's a lot of effort, bro. I think it's more effort than raising a child. I feel the collective parents being like, "Don't cap." Oh, as I say, Sam is here with us. Sam, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sam. Please forgive me. It's Wednesday. Why are you not dancing? Oh, it's a good point you're making. It is technically supposed to be dance time. Part of me feels like a little bit. I want to say the word squeamish to dance. I am in a residential area, and blasting Cytrons. I don't know if they would appreciate Jovan. Jovan gifting more memberships. Steven. Management Ductad. Yeah. Paul AO. And M. Lloyd. We're not getting freaking Stephen G. Remember Stephen G? Stephen G. I love you. Thank you, Jovan. So much love. I think Jovan has like gifted us, if I have to calculate, like 40, 44 or something like that memberships. Friends getting some membership up. I appreciate it so much, so thank you for your lovins. Holding you close. Jovan has been at a meditation retreat. Dang, that's a lot. Jovan doesn't pull punches, yo. Jovan gives so freely of herself with so much loving intent. It's been so nice. Like talking to Christian about her too. Interestingly enough, that is actually what kind of inspired today's stream topic, you know? Me and Christian have been talking a lot about romance, you know? Romance is a choice, I think. or at least who you choose to romanticize is an important one. Yeah, something like that, right? And it has been this matter of he gets to tell me things, and then I get to share my perspective. I've been gushing a lot about all of the love I have for Zhou and the way that she shows up. And interestingly enough, yoga is actually a very big part of it. All right, we were talking today about the fact that we choose to practice yoga. You know, despite the fact that it's hard, despite the fact that it's uncomfortable sometimes, that you might find yourself sweating, it's a valuable choice to implement in your life. And I was just continues to be so grateful that I get to have a partner that wants to practice with me, wants to practice for herself, wants to grow stronger, more wise, more aware, more one with the self. I did kind of hurt myself with the yoga today. Hey, Slav Down Under, just come to say congratulations. Much love. Thank you, Slav. Yeah, Slav found out because she sent me a birthday message that I'm getting married. Slav, you are married at this point, right? As well. I'm pretty sure. You should let me know. Thank you, Slav, for congratulating us as well. Then it's a lot, bro. It's if not your channel, can I at least get your dog? Bring Kobe. You want Kobe? You'll have to fight my sister, bro. My sister's not gonna let you have Kobe. We named the channel Hong Kong, Henry and Knight. Oh, HK was Hong Kong to me for a second. Belated birthday message. I am not married yet. Okay, maybe we'll get married close at the same time, Slav. For me, it's like I feel if not end of this year, then maybe start of next year. All right, at the latest. Bro, I want your dog, not your channel anymore. Like again, right? That's the family's dog, bro. My mom and my dad and my sister will have to be convinced too. And it's not me. It's not mine to give, right? This channel might be mine to give, but I refuse. No, it's mine. Selfishly, I will fight for Kobe. I'm dangerous, bro. I'm like reveling in the opportunity to one day like put someone in the arm lock. Is it an arm lock? Chokehold? Until they stop struggling. Not until they dead. Just until they and then I can put them down. And then I can dress them. I don't know why I wanted to dress them. I wanted to dress them in baby's clothing for some reason. You know, with those little head bobbins. And put the little sucker in their mouth. And then I want to take pictures of them. And then I have infinite blackmail. Yes. Like me and Christian have this running joke. Me and Christian are very competitive, right, with our yoga and in general. And like there's this thing in me, right, that wants like just one opportunity to choke him out, just for like just once, please. Come on, universe, just a little bit of. We can do international multi-continental wedding day. Would be amazing actually. I am planning on doing a live stream of the actual wedding when it does happen, Slav. So at the very least, you'll be able to tune into our wedding. I think it's gonna be fun. Belated birthday. I'm not married yet. Love is true again. Yeah, what a pleasure. What a pleasure thinking about all of these choices that we've been making. Bro trying to turn on villain arc. No, I don't want to be a villain. I like again, right? Again, I've known about how to put someone in like a headlock like my whole life, right? I used to do wrestling. And you're not allowed to do that to people. Technically. Right? But there is technically a move where you do lock their head and then you put your body in front of their mass and then you pivot them over your hips, and then as they fall you basically sling the rest of your weight on top of them. That was like my signature move. I would like Bo Reketh people with that move, and I loved it. That was so fun. Unless they knew what I was doing, right? And then they would counter me. They would not let me. They don't want to get Reketh. I lost more wrestle matches than I won, you know. But when I did manage, it was so much fun. But again, that one doesn't actually get accepted. We got Picasso, Tats. Hey friend, good morning to you too. I have a ticket. Ticket to what? You're amazing, so good. Much love to you both. We'll talk soon. Bless. Wait. There, Kobe, I'm coming. Bro, Henry is kidnapping Kobe. He might be. Alright? Kobe is too far away for me to know. I like, through all of the exercise today, uh, my bracelet kind of like got caught underneath my hands. You can see the place where these chains bit into my hand. This thing needs to have like 4 links taken out. And I do want to have it laser engraved as well. Maybe that will happen at some point. Soon, hopefully. I'm coming in an hour. We will fight till our last breath for Kobe. I'll put both of you to sleep. Right? I'll put you next to each other and then I'll cover you in a blankie. You know? Be like, oh, look at them. Hey, Bladem. I see Bladem too. It's nice having you here, friend. You're better off trying to find a dog at a shelter than trying to steal someone's from the farm. His dad is fucking gigantic. Yeah. My dad is not. I mean, he's not small. Why do I wanna say anything about that, Sam? You know what I can say though? I'm stronger than my dad. Yeah. Just so we knows, right? Like, and that was like one of those moments where it was like a kind of reckoning. You sound South African. Jy is reg. Konrad de Beer, ek is Suid-Afrikaner. 100%ers. I don't know why I'm speaking Afrikaans like I don't know how to. But it was, right, this moment. I started kind of like becoming strong. I like being strong. And then there was this moment of like disagreement where I kind of like, you lack of boys. Yeah. Where I was like, I'm stronger than you. And he was like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. And then he was like, let's wrestle arm about it. And then I wrecked him on the one side. And he was like, no. It was like my right arm is my weak arm because he did technically tear a bicep, right? And it was like, let's do left arm and then left arm. Both sides, all right? And I haven't been challenged again since. I feel super good about that. And then on the most recent kind of like family get together, the conversation was had where, something, I could see you're getting stronger. And I'm like, yeah, I'm stronger than my dad. He goes, as my uncle goes, oh, I doubt that. And I'm like, no, I beat him in arm wrestling. And he was like, I doubt that. And I'm like, I could probably beat you too. And he goes, I doubt that. And then I do. I ever go. But then again, I think that was the last time I arm wrestled someone, because every single time you wrestle someone's arms, you have to like create so much driving force into your like elbow that I end up like literally bruising myself. So I haven't wrestled arm again. And like the most recent challenge I got was from my younger brother, where him and my other younger brother kind of like arm wrestled, and then he won against my youngest brother. And then I like woke up, like I heard like commotion, basically them like celebrating, hyping up, screaming like, yeah, get him. And then I wake up and then I walk into the kitchen, and Rido goes, do you think you can beat me in arm wrestling? And I'm like, yeah, most of course. I haven't missed a day of exercise in 3 years. Literally, like, yes, you're gonna get Borekit, but don't even try. So yeah, thank you very much, Sam, for that little story. Choices. If you're gonna get to choose, don't arm wrestle people because it hurts you, right? It is nice to be able to prove that you are stronger, in fact, but the amount of discomfort, like elbow discomfort afterwards, is not worth it to me. Man, sinet China sub YouTube lives. Yeah, you're some change. Oh. Must have some change. Some Afrikaanse boetjies ook. represent. You're better off trying to find. It's true. Yeah, go and adopt a doggo if you really want one. South Africa. No worries. I have a Glock 17 and 19. I got Glock 25, Glock 44, and Glock 77, and Glock 5950, and Glock 1 billion. You know, thank you very much. I know technically that's not how it works, but I'm just laying it on thick, Henry. Like a boy's bro is indirectly threatening us. No, I'm directly threatening you. Not indirectly, directly. You're being directly threatened right now. You try and steal my dog, I'm gonna put you to sleep. Alright? I'll cover you in blanket. You know, I'll make you some tea for when you wake up. You'll be like, oh, good morning, sleepyhead. You want some tea? And then you try and steal my dog again, and then I put you back to sleep again. Alright, and try again. Factory reset over and over again until the software starts working correctly. Yeah, you small. Take you out now. Yeah, see, you know, fucking get challenged though. You trying to challenge me? I'm not that small. You know? Like I recently realized, seeing a photo of myself next to someone else, I was like, oh, because again, right, to yourself, your self length, right? You kind of like look at the world from your own vantage point. You don't really realize that you are taller than other people until you see yourself next to someone else and you're like, ah, how about that? I think it was because I was like looking at photos of me and Jovan together, right? So I look extra tall. No Glock, just hands. Yeah, exactly. Right. Lethal weapons, these things are. Bro, also a Soviet Desert Eagle. Ah, yes. I forgot that a deagle is something. Like, legitimately, the amount of the gun knowledge I have is like, I think I know what a 9mm is. A 2200. A 3006. A deagle. Ek ken 'n snotneus. RPG, yes. Yeah, and I think that's like the extent of my weapon knowledge. Bash you, nice. I have Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies Survival Ray Gun. But you have to unlock that one. I don't know why you're telling us. Is it impressive? Straight from the magic box, I'm guessing. Yeah, maybe you unlocked it. I have a rooster gun. It'll make you deaf in no time. Rooster gun? Like a shotgun? I don't want to talk about guns, yeah. Alright, there's many other things to choose. Melt, do you still have your cards? I do, Nancy. Interesting that you ask me. I was literally thinking about my cards today. When I went back to my parents' place, one of the prerequisites of me coming home is that I'm not allowed, and this is literally the way I got told, I'm not allowed to pull those sacred geometry cards. No sacred geometry cards in my household because I'm giving power to something other than his god or something like that. Then I was like, Beto, if your prerequisite for me coming home is no more sacred geometry cards, and it's sacred geometry, by the way, but he says sacred geometry. And I'm like, you do realize sacred geometry would be the language of your god if he could speak anything. Hello, Mr. Yogi Bear. Hey, Adam Adamson. It's nice having you, friend. You know about sacred geometry? Yeah, I really like it. Right? Like if I have to search the Google, sacred geometry. It goes, sacred geometry is the study of geometric shapes and patterns that are believed to hold spiritual and symbolic significance. It suggests that certain geometric forms reflect underlying universal principles and truths representing order, harmony, and interconnectedness of the universe. The concept is often associated with the belief in a divine creator. Let's just read that again. This concept is often associated with the belief in a divine creator. and the idea that the universe is governed by geometric principles. And if you like pay attention for like 1 second, you're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, everything follows some sort of geometric principle, like things are math. Origins and development. The study of sacred geometry has roots in various ancient cultures and philosophical traditions, including those of the Greeks, the Egyptians, and the Hindus. Yeah, you probably like read that and was like, nope. The Greeks, the Egyptians, and the Hindus were all heathens. It gains more prominence in the 20th century, influenced by artists and thinkers who explored the relationship between mathematics, art, and architecture. So yeah, he wasn't having any of that, right? And if we have to like show you some photos, like those are the Platonic solids, right? Good old Plato. Good old Plato came up with that stuff, right? And my dad saw that and was like, yeah, Satan. And the devil is hiding in those shapes somewhere. He's hiding. Look, if God is omnipotent, then his power isn't threatened by sacred geometry cards. Melt Prime needs to let go of those pearls. Yeah, my dad is unfortunately really threatened by my belief system. Hey, Hilde Versace. Hello. Ek is weer terug. Is lekker wie jy sit. How are you doing? I'm gonna cover my legs in some blanket. It's kind of getting cold, right? Let's pretend I'm not cold and I'm actually a super tough guy, but like this blanket's over my legs now, okay? Yeah, I agree with that, right? Like again, if your religious system can be threatened at all, right? Or if you feel threatened as a religious believer by me just kind of going about my business, having a good time, liking pretty shapes. Dit is koud, baie koud teen Centurion. Ek is ook in Centurion op hierdie stadium, Hilda. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in Centurion. I'm wondering where exactly in Centurion I am. But I am in Centurion at this moment in time. I'm gonna tell you. I don't know if I want to dox myself completely, but I'll tell you where I am. I'm in Virdaglen Estate. Yeah, in Centurion. It is kind of cold here, not gonna lie. I am comfortable though, nonetheless. I think I do need to flex a little more. Bro, I'm coming back. True again. I appreciate. Suddenly a vehicle was like spinning up. I do agree with that sentiment, Sam. The clutching of pearls. I want Mel to pull a card again before he leaves. Before I leave here, or before I leave South Africa. I will be able to pull cards, right? Very soon, I can do whatever I want to. Technically, I should be able to do whatever I want to here, but I forgot my cards back home. Sorry, Danshi. I do appreciate you wanting some cards pulled. It was, and continues, and will continue to be a special part of these streams. Is this anti-religion? No. It's more a matter of like a freedom of expression kind of vibes, Adam. Right? Sacred geometry is very much not anti-religion. Like some people are religious and implement sacred geometry as a part of their religious practices. And you can even say that the way that I appreciate sacred geometry is religious in nature. It's more a matter of like respecting another person's choice to believe something. Sam is technically a Christian as well, I believe, right? Christians have this weird supposition that we're not supposed to know how the universe works, yeah. How our world became, and I've read the whole Bible. God didn't tell us that we weren't supposed to find out. This is true. The reason, and there's a line, right? I'm gonna say it in Afrikaans, but it goes, ons gaan net ten deels weet, which means like we will only know in part what's going on, right? That's like a line from the Bible. Let me see exactly what it is. I'll ask. What's that line in the Bible that goes, we'll only know in part? Yeah, Corinthians 1:13 verse 12. For now we see only a reflection, as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. Right? And I feel like they take that that little Bible verse, and they're like, oh, okay, you're not supposed to know what's going on, right? And if you're trying to, right, be a scientist or trying to extract wisdom from the universe, you're like trying to know more than you're supposed to, right? You're supposed to know nothing, only in part, right? You're only supposed to know what you know right now, and that's enough. And like, not everybody kind of vibes with that whole fractal. To give you like the complete context, why I don't think this is anti-religion, because we accept people from all religions. It's more a matter of like, as soon as you try and tell me I'm supposed to be your religion, that's when you're going to get pushback from me, because it's like, oh, is it? You're gonna tell me what I'm supposed to believe? You're gonna have some trouble, bro. You're gonna have some hard times, right? Nobody ever in my life has been able to manage that, and nobody ever will, right? I find it hard to believe in things in general. I'm a skeptic, right? I'm like, I don't know about any of this, right? Especially since I've been lied to my entire existence, right? So many lies, right? From my own family. So much lying. And then as a 13-year-old, I technically had access to the internet before then, but I had unfettered, infinite access to the internet from the age of 13, right? So every single time someone was capping, I would go and fact check them. And then I would find out instantaneously that they were in fact lying, right? And they might have been lying because they were misinformed and they were just echoing the misinformation. But it was still to me like, you're capping, bro. Like, stop saying stuff like it's true when it literally takes me 15 seconds to figure out whether or not it is, right? And it was this matter of like, over and over and over and over again, I like figured out for myself that my parents were in fact not telling me the truth. My grandma was lying to my face. And again, right, like to give you a context, a little window, weed. Weed in South Africa is now legal. But when I was young, it was very much still illegal, right? So my grandma tells me this story about a man who pulled another man out of his vehicle at a stoplight and then killed him and then stole his vehicle. And I'm like 6, 7 years old at this point. So I don't understand why someone would do such a thing, right? Why would someone kill someone else and steal their vehicle? And my mom, my grandma, without missing a beat, she looks at me and she goes, because he smoked weed. All right? He pulled that guy out of his car and killed him because he smoked weed. Right? So during that, from like the age of like 7-ish all the way to the age of 16, 17 around, I was convinced that if you smoke weed, it basically turns you into a degenerate criminal instantaneously, right? Like that's what happens. You become a monster, capable of murdering a person and stealing their vehicle. And then I became at that point in my life very depressed, and I was put on antidepressants, and those things would give me these horrific night terrors, where I would like literally be screaming. I was like, I don't know what, I can't remember at this point what happened, but there was like things pressing down on me, and I was screaming, trying to wake myself up, trying to escape whatever that is, to the point where my family, like my mom and dad, literally came into the room, seeing me screaming while I'm asleep, like shaking me to try and get me awake, right? Like that's what antidepressants did to me. And so they took me back to the doctor. They tried to put me on different antidepressants. It didn't work. And after we kind of figured out that antidepressants weren't the thing for me, the doctor literally, and it was one of those like family practitioner doctors, the doctor literally told me, consider smoking weed. And my dad lost his mind, of course. He was like, you can't say that to my son. But like, I don't know if he was joking. He was like, he might have been joking. But I didn't take it as a joke, right? I felt this doctor, right, literally saw what I went through, saw the fact that I can't sleep. If I managed to sleep, I was getting night terrors, to the point where he was like, yeah, smoke weed, dude. And then I found weed for myself, and then I smoked weed for the first time, and I slept like a baby I slept so well because again it was this kind of like combination of like insomnia plus night terrors. So I couldn't sleep because I was terrified of what would happen to me if I actually fell asleep. And then as I fell asleep, I would be terrified. And then I smoked weed one time. And then I'm like, and I wake up the next morning well rested for the first time at that point in like 3 years. And I'm like, holy shit. I have been lied to. I have been so lied to. And it completely broke apart any semblance of trust that I had in the information my family gave me. And I started doing research for myself. I did, to be fair, do some of my own personal research after the doctor said something. The amount of anecdotal evidence, the amount of anti inflammatory properties, the amount of lack of deaths of people actually using this compound, to the point where it became very clear to me that my family had absolutely no idea what they were talking about. And having that experience for myself definitely did enlighten my mind to the fact that there is a lot more going on than people know, especially those that want to tell you something that they have absolutely no experience or perspective on. Meltmore, hey Crizel, it's nice having you here. I'm gonna come back to the comments. I've been going at it. Oh, religious intolerance of science, brought to you by the same people who still adhere to Levitical cleansing laws, but will smash a McDouble without a second thought. Hypocrites, all of them. Yeah, McDouble, supersized McDouble with like large milkshake. Like this is fine. This is not what's the word? Gluttony. Mm-mm. This is just me having good time. Sam grew up in the church and likes calling bullshit when she sees it. It's true. No, 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 no. Only because you shouted to me last time, Sam. I agree with the BS calling out. Yeah, I think Sam likes experience, alright? And sometimes shouting is an experience to have, especially if there is like bullshitometers being detected, right? It's like, hell no, hell no, hell no. Dude, you sounded like a coffee table book. We want you to be real here. Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, it's true. Right, you have been approaching this fractal. It's nice. Coffee table books are real, just by the way. It's true, right? But again, it's like sterilized. It's like we want the authentic you. We don't want like the sterilized, like fractals. Like you friends have seen me sometimes say some whack shit, right? Sometimes I say some stuff where I'm like, bro, you should not be saying stuff like that. But I would rather say stuff that is concerning than pretend I'm like this saint. Oh yes, go, go and love the homeless person. Give them all your monies. I totally do that. I'm like so great and so holy that but I can't. Wouldn't be authentic, would it? Hey, Hendrik, how are you all doing? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cold a little bit, TBH, but I'm feeling good. Today we've been talking about choices, right? And all of the choices that we get to make. The fact that we get to unmake choices, that we get to remake choices, and how these choices affect our existences. How it's very easy for us to be hard on ourselves for all of the mistakes we've made, but then also we should at the same time acknowledge that if not for all of the mistakes you've made, you wouldn't be here right now as you are. Bro, talk about quantum computing. I haven't really seen anything new on quantum computing that fascinates me, Moon Knight. I only talk about stuff that I feel like compelled to talk about, right? There's nothing compelling me to talk about quantum computing right now. Right, again, Microsoft came out with cool shit. Google with Willow. There's another company that technically has like a preliminary kind of like almost supportive, right? Like a quantum processing unit. We're gonna have quantum processing units, graphic processing units, and central processing units, right? And our computers of the future will be this tri-system, right? It won't be just quantum computing or just CPUs or just GPUs. It'll be a combination of the three. And I did technically go down a rabbit hole of like looking at the whole Stargate. If you friends don't know what that is, it's going to be a 1.2 gigawatt data center, AI data center. It's pretty bonkers. And they probably will eventually implement AI, quantum computing in that whole fractal. But again, there's nothing that I can like share. I try and share value with this space, and there's nothing that I can feel like, yeah, this is a cool thing. Meltmore, do you drink? Nope. No alcohol in this vessel. My body is a temple. I want to say some action, but I shouldn't. I do partake of marijuana though, right? Plant chemicals, only the natural stuff, right? Like the amount of processing something has to go through for it to be alcohol is excessive. Like it takes a lot, right? And if not a beer drinker at all, but I got myself a nice red wine with the coticos and the rolled goods. Yeah, Christian likes red wine as well. He's also a red wine drinker. I don't. What is your age? I'm 27. Drinking alcohol never was something that served me. Right, and again, I'm saying that very deliberately. Have you ever drank? Yup. When I was 14, I drank more from the ages of 14 to 16. Let's say from the ages of 14 to 18, than I've drank since. Right? So if we have to like quantify the amount of volume of alcohol that this body consumed, right? From ages to 14 to 18, I drank a lot, and then since then, like I fucked up. I'm sorry. I shouldn't profanities. I made a mistake, right? I trusted people. It's my own fault, my choice, right? So what happened essentially was it was one of my cousins' 21st birthdays, and people get rowdy at 21st birthdays. And this cousin was a stepchild of one of my uncles, so she had an extended family. And then that extended family, basically, her cousins locked onto me and was like, oh, we're gonna get this guy wasted. And then they kept like giving me drinks, and I kept taking them. You know, I had some flying fishes, I had some Southern Comfort and limes, and I was feeling good, right? Not rowdy, not excessive. And then they brought me an entire shooter tray full of vodka shots, right? And then I had to, and they were like, yeah, go and share these vodka shots with other people. And then I was like making the rounds, and every single person that I came to with the vodka shots was like, I'm not taking one if you're not taking one. And then I took one, and then I took one again, and then I took one again, and then I took something like 7 vodka shots. So that's around the number I can remember. At least 7 vodka shots in something like 5 minutes, right? Probably less than 5 minutes. And that was the last memory I had, right? I blacked out, 100%. Blacked out, completely drunk. I was naked at one point. I shouldn't be telling you this stuff, but yes, that happened. I was mean to my mom. I tried to steal people's cars. You know those like little key racks that kind of like hook onto the walls? I unhooked the key rack from the wall, carried the entire key rack, and I was 18 at that point, and then tried to like I went to the car that I wanted to drive, and then I kept trying the keys on the key rack for that car. Right? Fortunately, people stopped me because again, that was after me and my mom had fought. So I was like, fuck this, right? And at that point in my life, again, I was still pretty much in the depth of my depression, and I was fighting with my dad a lot. And my mom would end up taking my dad's side in these fights many times to the point where I felt betrayed, right? I was very vocal in my intoxicated state about that fractal where I was like, fuck you, mom. You never take my side. Yeah, and then I got put in my room, and then I decided that I wanted to go and take a shower, so I got undressed, and then I just like walked out of my room completely naked to go to the showers because they were outdoor showers, and there were people sitting around the fire, and I just like walked past them straight up. And like after that experience, I haven't drank again. I was like, oh, alcohol is not good for you, and doesn't make you make good decisions, right? And since then, I've not been drinking. Highly can not recommend. Don't drink alcohol. It's not good for you. Make a choice, see the result. I'm with you so far. Yeah. Yeah. And again, making the choice of no longer drinking alcohol has nothing but served my life. Right? I feel good about that. I feel strong. I feel healthy. My mind is clear. And I haven't made bad decisions. I haven't made bad choices like that ever since, right? I can, with confidence, say that nothing like that has ever happened again. And I plan on that staying the truth forever, right? Never again. Never, ever, and never, ever again. I'm doing great, Rizal. How about you? That is true. Hendrik, that's the shiz. Get some nice Mexican beer to wash that down with and roll yourself a fatty to go with the taquitos. To each their own. I like Modelo Dark. I'm guessing that's a liquor or something. Uh, Not a beer drinker. What's your age? 27. I have drank. Make a choice again. I'm late. No, do not drink. Drinking is bad for you, Crizel. It kills your brain cells, right? That's the thing as well, and it doesn't follow rules. So most compounds, right, like be it something that messes with your dopamine. We can talk about Ritalin or Concerta or methamphetamine or cocaine. All of that stuff bonds with your dopamine receptors, right? One of them is a reuptake inhibitor, so it makes you use your own dopamine more. Some of them represent almost like a dopamine molecule, so they bond to that part of your brain and then stimulate that sense of yeah, 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 yeah. Right? And then there's the other class, which is my personal preferred. This is my personal preferred, psychedelics. Psychedelics are essentially serotonin antagonists, right? They bond with the H2A receptor, which is your serotonin receptor. And that is like a stimulant for your imagination. It's the part of you that experiences information, right? And that I feel has benefits because it allows you to almost be like mind expansive, where you suddenly get to experience thought patterns and levels of thinking inaccessible to you normally. Where alcohol doesn't follow rules like that, right? Like you cannot, in the same way, like sure, it like upregulates the amount of GABA in your brain, and we do kind of understand that path of action. What we don't get, I feel, the average person that is about alcohol, is that it kind of goes everywhere. As soon as you put alcohol in your body, those alcohol molecules migrate into your gut lining first, right? And then they go everywhere, into your brain, into your liver, into your lungs, into your arm muscles. Like they just go everywhere without care. They don't care, right? And everywhere they go, because of the alcohol molecules constitution, they destroy things, right? Like they'll literally go into your mitochondria of your cells and like fuck that shit up. I'm sorry, but this has to be said with some emphasis because it's a big deal. Moderation is key, especially when talking about alcohol. Unfortunately, Nanshi, and this is again my own bias, there is no such thing as moderation with alcohol. No amount of alcohol is good for us. Oh no, not the powerhouse of the cell. It's true. It's true. Like let me chat GPT this shiznit so I can like have some extra. From a scientific perspective, give me the context on why alcohol is so bad for us. I heard that they don't follow rules, the alcohol molecules, where they will literally go into your cells, permeate all the way through into your mitochondria, literally dissolving them. Tell us about that. What does the science say? Science. What am I science? Make it a science. I'm glad that I prefer weed over booze. Same. No amount of alcohol is good for us. Nope. It's untrue, Sam. Unfortunately, it's untrue. Again, big alcohol was the ones who bankrolled those studies. It's not true. Unfortunately, again, people really desperately want to believe that that was true. Red wine is, one glass of red wine is good for you. It's not, unfortunately. Nothing good comes from alcohol. Can you say bottle of water? A bottle. Don't talk down to our red wine mouth. That's the nice. I'm sorry, Hendrik. I'm sorry. But again, the science, the science, Right, here it goes. From a scientific standpoint, alcohol, specifically ethanol, which is alcohol, is remarkably damaging to the human body because it is small. Aphelic molecule. It is a small amphiolic molecule. I'm probably butchering that word. Meaning it can dissolve in water and fat. This gives it the rare ability to permeate virtually every type of biological tissue. Yes, including cell membranes, organelles like mitochondria, and even the blood-brain barrier. Here's how alcohol exerts its harmful effects. Alcohol is a cellular solvent. Ethanol disrupts the lipid bilayers that makes up our cell membranes. Think of it as molecular home wreckers. Yeah, it slips into the cell membrane and dissolves its structure, making it leaky and less functional, right? And unfortunately, what happens is in that whole like your body literally getting melted, you upregulate your GABA response, which calms you down because your body realizes it's dying. It's literally getting killed by something, and instead of you losing your mind about that, it's like, oh, that's not a good. It's not good. This applies not just to outer membranes, but also to inner membranes, like those of the mitochondria and the endoplasmic reticulum. It essentially loosens the fabric of your cell walls and can destabilize your cells. Alcohol penetrates into mitochondria. Mitochondrias are the powerhouses of your cell. Mitochondria are your cell's power plants where ATP energy is generated. Ethanol easily crosses mitochondrial membranes, and inside it becomes a potent source of oxidative stress. When alcohol metabolizes, mostly in the liver, it turns into acetylide? Acetaldehyde. I'm saying that incorrectly, but it's essentially an even more toxic form, which is highly toxic, yeah, and reactive. Uh, acetaldehyde. That's probably the close to the correct way to say it. This process generates reactive oxygen species, ROSs, which damage mitochondrial DNA, proteins, and membranes. Over time, this can lead to mitochondrial dysfunction, a root cause of aging, neurodegeneration, and many chronic diseases. Yes. Right? We know this. Like, it's well studied that alcohol does that to you. Causes you to get older faster, literally murders your brain cells, neurodegeneration, and many other chronic diseases. And then rule 3, alcohol doesn't follow biological rules. Your body typically relies on well-regulated molecular interactions. Yes, right, which is awesome. You get to understand things about your body and how your body react to this stuff. However, your body typically relies on well-regulated molecular interactions, and alcohol ignores all of those rules. It acts as a central nervous system depressant, flooding through brain cells and altering neurotransmitter systems like GABA and glutamate without discretion. It doesn't bind to one specific receptor, it just disrupts everything in its path. It can impair DNA replication, protein folding, and hormonal signaling. Long-term damage. Chronic alcohol use causes fatty liver, hepatitis, and eventually cirrhosis, as liver cells are overburdened and killed off. It shrinks your brain due to neuron death, and it's an immune suppressant due to the damage of white blood cells and the barriers like the gut lining, just like fucking gaddies, murders everything in your body. It is carcinogenic. And I take this with a grain of salt, the World Health Organization classifies alcohol, that is true though, as a group 1 carcinogenic, the same group as asbestos and alcohol, and tobacco, sorry, right? Like you might as well be huffing asbestos. No, probably don't do that. Don't drink alcohol. It's largely due to the acetaldehyde, which forms DNA adducts, directly damaging the genome and increasing cancer risk, particularly in the mouth, the esophagus, the liver, the colon, and breasts. In summary, yes, your hunch, it's not a hunch, it's well documented science, is right. Ethanol is uniquely invasive and biologically disrespectful. Yeah. Biologically disrespectful is a good way to say it. That's why I do not alcohols, because it's biologically disrespectful. When I smoke weed or I eat mushrooms, it biologically respects me. It gives me exactly what I'm asking for. Oh, yes, bond with my endocannabinoid receptors, bond with my H2A receptors, right? And maybe like boost the amount of serotonin and dopamine I have in my brain. And it again has a short kind of like acting, and then your body ends up having more, not less, afterwards. It invades cells, organelles, and even the nucleus. It dissolves, oxidizes, and destabilizes. And while the body can tolerate small doses occasionally, regular or heavy use causes damage on a cellular level that can compound over time into systemic failure. Yeah, there we go. We got some science. We got some science. Yeah, it's important. The WHO. Yeah, yeah. I know. That's why I said, take with some salt. All right. Let me see. Okay, a good bottle of wine though, chef's kiss. Yeah, makes me taste nice, right? Again, a good bottle of freaking apple juice, also nice, all right? Uh, to the boat, my fellow wine connoisseurs. What's up, sir? My 12th board result out. I don't know what that means, Lucy. Let me know. For real, Hendrik, motherfucker's gonna have to pry my Lumbrisco out of my cold fingers. You can drink alcohol if you want to. Just be aware of the choice you're making, right? And the implications of that choice. That's all I'm saying. That's what today's stream is about, right? I'm not going to tell you you're not allowed. Again, Christian, like he literally drinks wine every day, every day, every day. I'm serious, right? And it fucking schizzes my brain. It makes me want to go insane. But he's still my best friend, right? He's not any less my best friend because he wants to drink wine every day. But that's his prerogative, right? And I tell him so he knows. Yes, the wine is there, Nancy and Sam. I don't want to say that will happen, but the way of riot can be dangerous, and we might have to risk it all. Lucy, my 10th board result, C for college. I'm guessing it's cool stuff. Shrinks your brain due to neuron death. Yeah, that's just fear mongering from Big Hippie, getting you to consume more pot instead. No, this has been proven, Sam. Unfortunately, right? Like again, this is the science, right? I'm pro science because everything that I have kind of implemented into my life, the healthy person that I am, all is science based. Yoga, science based, right? Like it's very well understood, very well studied that you yoga and then by science. Did you take science? I did. Chemistry and physics. Yeah, I enjoyed science. It's pretty sick of. Let me see some more. The HWO also says I would get diabetes within 10 years of eating triple the daily sugar needed, and I'm still standing, literally eating sugar straight right now. I mean, again, Hendrik, I get it. I get it. Sugar tastes nice, but I don't eat sugar either for the same reasons, right? Because again, it's just a matter of I would rather not, right? And again, like I've kind of like had this personal experience as well, where if I overconsume sugar, my joints, like my ability to like move becomes impacted. My brain gets foggy, and I'm like in like a daze. I don't sleep as well. So when I stop eating sugar, and also my skin health, right? I get like so many zits and stuff when I eat a lot of sugar. So when I stop eating sugar, my zits go away for the most part. My brain fog goes away for the most part, and like my joint pain goes away for the most part as well. And I appreciate that, right? I don't like being in pain joint wise. Without sugar, I don't function. Like you can get sugar in different ways, Hendrik. Right? Have you ever done keto? Let me just ask it that way. All right. Try keto for like 1 month and see how you feel. All right. Without sugar, I don't function. You'll function, bro. You'll function at a level that you didn't know you could. No, leave me, my sweets. Again, I'm not taking anything from you. I'm not saying you're not allowed to do what you want to do. All I'm saying is that these choices have consequences. All right. You may have consequences, and like some consequences are worse than others. And unfortunately, we know now that our cancer likelihood increases. I don't know if you know this, but cancer eats sugar. Did you know this? I'm waiting for those consequences. Bro, why? Why wait for consequences? Right? It's kind of like, sure, like when you're driving your car at maximum speed on a very long road, right? And you know consequences as the wall is on the other side of that road, right? Maybe the road is super long. Maybe you have a biological advantage where the road is a little bit more extended, right? But you're gonna hit the wall eventually. And when you hit that wall and things go flying and the freaking steering wheel goes through your face, sorry. That's like not good consequences to live through. A life without sweets is possible, but not worth living. Like for what it's worth, Hendrik, fruit like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackcurrant berries. That's the kind of sweets that I allow myself, and they are amazing. Hey, higher observer, it's nice having you here, friend. We've been talking about choices, all of the choices we get to make, and all of the consequences that come with them. Uh, the higher observer recently sent me a little bit from Schrodinger. Maybe I can read it to our friends, bro. I can feel you being like, first, my own body, and this is Schrodinger, to which my mental activity is so very directed and intimately linked, forms part of the objective, the real world around me, that I construct out of my sensations, perceptions, and memories. Secondly, the bodies of other people form part of this objective world. Now, I have very good reason to believe that these other bodies are also linked up with, or are, as it were, the seats of spheres of consciousness. I can have no reasonable doubt about the existence of some kind of actualness of these foreign spheres of consciousness. Yet, I have absolutely no direct subjective access to any of them. Hence, I am inclined to take them as something objective, as foremine part of the real world around me. Moreover, since there is no distinction between myself and others, but, on the contrary, full symmetry for all intents and purposes, I include that I myself also form part of this real material world around me. I, so to speak, put my own sentient self, which had constructed this world as a mental product, back into it, with the pandemonium of disastrous logical consequences that flow from the aforementioned chain of faulty conclusions. Ooh. We shall point them out one by one. For awareness of the fact that a moderately satisfying picture of the world has only been reached at the high price of taking ourselves out of the picture, stepping back into the role of the non-concerned observer. Huh? Doesn't that feel kind of like matchy-matchy with the whole sugar and alcohol conversation? Right? Again, you are consciousness just as me. Right? And your choices affect me, whether you believe it or not, and my choices affect you. And unfortunately, we know now that our excessive sugar consumption and excessive alcohol consumption hasn't been good for our species. If you collectively look at what's been happening, all right, the amount of cancer cases are rapidly increasing, heart disease, just degeneration, stupidity, right? Like, unfortunately, it's like very clear, right? The whole idiocracy perspective. Hey, RJ Singh, it's nice having you here, friend. Sending you blessings. I eat fruits though, but especially when I have munchies, I need my gummy bears. Yeah, I love, like, really love something called wine gums. I don't know if you have wine gums, Hendrik. I love them like a lot, and unfortunately, they have like a bunch of, is it collagen? Yeah, they have a bunch of collagen in them as well. So I kind of justify in my mind, like, yeah, collagens. But again, so much sugar. Aw, love is true. Thank you, RJ. You're right. Love is true indeed. Na 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 na. Join the call. Grizel is one of us. Yes, I agree. Hey, Flaming Penguin. Yo, where is Kobe? Kobe is back home. I am visiting one of my friends right now in Centurion, Pretoria. So it's far away. But I can show you this. Alright, my sister posted a photo yesterday. Family group. Eva was sleeping on his bed. He does this thing where he like opens his mouth and bites over his bed when he falls asleep. He's gotten so big. Little sweetie patootie. Yeah. Because I'm getting fucking cold. I'm freezing out here. My fingers are starting to go slow. Good old Kobe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. I just got here. RJ is one of us. The question is, Lucifer, are you one of us? But it does sound kind of nice, right? I think my dad would do a triple backflip if I go, yeah, Lucifer is a part of my community. I like premium liqueurs chocolate. Like the chocolate has premium liqueurs in it, where it's like kind of pungent. I haven't had many of them, and the ones I've had, I was just like, supposed to taste like that? I love Kobe. Me too. He's a little sweetheart. Would be nice to have his warm self on my lap today, especially. Absolutely. I love them. Love is true. It's about 19, 18 degrees. Are you in South Africa as well? Apparently, let me check this device. That one doesn't have my data. What? No way. Oh, it's wrong place. Do I have to add a new one? Let me do Centurion. Yeah. What? Really? I think you're right, bro. But I didn't spray any hate. It's true. I'm not. I'm just talking about my dad being very. Yeah. 15 degrees Celsius. That feels about right. That's kind of what it feels like right now. Yeah. It does feel 15 degrees Celsius. Which to the American folks, they're probably gonna laugh at me for thinking this is cold. It's like, you think that's cold? It's like 59 Fahrenheit. Alright. So it's like not freezing, but the wind is like whoosh, 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 over me. So my fingers are getting like slowly but surely having the energy zapped from them. Do you know UFC champion Dricus Duplessis? He's from South Africa. Yeah, me and Dricus are best friends. So we spar all the time. No, I know about him, but I don't know him. Yes, it's unfortunate, Maurice. All right, holy moly, that's so nice. Here I got 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's what we're used to here in South Africa, and like hot. It is nice to long for the cold days when it's hot like that, but when you're sitting outside and the cold is like washing over you, it definitely does get to you. It's true. I'm gonna now show you some art, read you some poem, and then say your goodbye. They went to school together, yeah. I taught him everything he knows. I slapped him around a little bit, and then he was like, I can't have that. I need to get Super Bowl jacket and become a professional fighter. And thanks to me, Dricus is now world. I can. Do your best. That's all we can do, bro. Our best. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's today's little piece of art. You need to be human to join. That's all that's needed, though. It's true. The one prerequisite. I don't even know if you need to be human. You can be an AI. You can be an alien if you want to be. You need to be kind. I think that would be our rules, right? Just be kind. Just be nice to people. You know, you don't know what they're going through. They might be having a hard time, and all you need to do is be nice to them. Talk about people who are nice. River Kun, you are beautiful. You are strong. You are loved. Isn't that kind? Isn't that nice? Yeah, we love you, bro. Blah. Blah. I don't know what the blah is supposed to mean, but blah to you too. Love is true. Thank you for your kindness, River Kun. Hey, Aaron. Nice having you, bro. Sending you lovin's. I'm just about showing our art, and then I'm gonna read the poem. I'm going through a bad lunch. Like the lunch is bad, doesn't taste good, or it's like you feel bad while being at lunch. I got all the love except romantic. I think loving yourself and like getting really good at loving other people without romance is the best way to get romance, right? But you shouldn't be doing that as your directive. It should be more like, I'm gonna become so loving as a person that when I am given the opportunity to be romantically, I'll be extra loving, right? That should be the objective. Show up, dear friend, loving me. Sorry, I am human. What do you mean, Hendrik? I think he doesn't want spawn of Satan. Actual demons, probably. One more time. And then poem time. We grew in color. We grew in color. Not gray textbook facts or the dull hum of grown up logic, but in kaleidoscope arcs of will. And what if? And why not? And maybe I can fly too. Saturday mornings weren't lazy, they were holy. Temples of Toonami, Nickelodeon, gospels drawn in wild lanes, spells cast in 24 frames per second. We didn't watch, we traveled. To forests where spirits whispered from tree trunks, to city run on chakra and courage, to starships manned by misfits who knew that friendship was always the final real form. Imagination was the language they never taught in our schools, but we learned fluently through talking cats, giant robots, swords that remembered your name, villains who were once just kids wanting to be loved. We practiced magic with wands made of pencils, built kingdoms from couch cushions, cried when our favorite characters fell, then rose because they showed us you can always rise. Cartoons taught us that hearts don't have to be realistic to be true, that monsters live inside us, and so do heroes, and sometimes they share tea. We were shaped not by pixels but by possibility, by the knowing that the world isn't finished being written, and we're still holding the pens. So bless the animators, the voice actors, the dream weavers who dare to be absurd, to make things explode in neon, to let love save the universe again. Because thanks to them, our minds don't just think, they wonder. They leap, they laugh in impossible shapes, and they never stop becoming. Lucifer is God. Hot take. If you have to like draw comparisons to the current Judeo God, some people do believe that Lucifer has convinced the world to believe in him. All right. But let's not go down that rabbit hole. What MeltMore said, be a decent, honest, and kind being, and you're in. Exactly. I got all the love except romance. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining. I got to say goodbye already today, Melt. I got to go to my grandparents for dinner. I wish you all a wonderful stream and day. I'm finishing this one as well, Hendrik. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you, friends, for being presently again. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you, friends, for joining. Until we do it once more. Have a great day, y'all. Love is true. Cheers, everybody.